In The Slain Theocracy, the captain of the Black Scripture in Zeshi Zetsumei discussed the mystery of Ainz Gaon for his growing celebrity as a magic caster and a recent vampire attack which killed 2 scripture members and severely wounded Lady Care. Zeshi expresses intrigue in Ainz as she seeks a man capable of defeating her so as to sire for her a more powerful child. Meanwhile, in another location, former adventurer Rigrid of the original 13 Heroes and the Platinum Dragon Lord discuss the possibility that a dark and powerful player from Yggdrasil may have arrived to this new world. In the Riestei's capital, Gazef Stronov is with the king as the nobles of the kingdom decide to bring the annual war to Baharuth, and the king apologizes for not having sent full support for the events of Krine village. After a brief visit by Princess Renner and her squire Klein, the king asks Gazef to request a meeting with Ainz Gaon to show his gratitude for saving Gazef. After Ainz finishes a job as Mammon, he returns to Nazarick to give a debriefing to Albedo, simply ecstatic at his return, of what he has learned in relation to the notable nation-states in the known world and proximity of Nazarick's position on the map. Aura, overseeing the construction of the decoy replica of Nazarick, receives a gift from Ainz in the form of a talking wristwatch with the voice of her creator Lady Bukubuku Chagama dictating lunch hour. Meanwhile, Shaltir, guilt-ridden by her mind control attack Ainz, drinks herself into a stupor while Eclair, Sebas' assistant butler, fails at trying to cheer her up. Cocytus is sent to start a war with the Lizardmen and claim the fallen for a later army of undead. In the village of the Lizardmen, Green Claw tribe chieftain Shasryu discuss daily life with his younger brother Zariusu when a monstrous entity comes from the clouds. The dark entity which descends from the sky is a herald forewarning the Lizardmen of the Green Claw tribe of an invasion in 8 days' time. Zariusu advises an alliance with the other Lizardmen tribe Small Fong, Razortail, Dragontusk, and Red Eye. But as Dragontusk has survivors of defeated tribes Yellow Speckle and Sharp Edge, there is little to no hope of alliance with them. Zariusu is permitted by his brother the chieftain to be the envoy to seek an alliance with the other tribes. Reaching the Red Eye tribe, Zariusu meets Crush Lulu, the interim chief/priestess of the village. Enamored by her, he instinctively lets out a mating cry desiring to marry her. After an awkward start, the two discuss an alliance and reach a consensus. Planning to build an alliance, Zariusu and Crush arrive in the Dragon Tusk village and meet the chieftain Zenburu Gugu, who also received the herald's message but will only join the alliance if Zariusu can prove his worth in combat. Back in Nazarick, Demiurge talks with Eclair, and it is revealed both are aware of Eclair's hidden agenda to usurp Nazarick's throne, as that was his design by Ankoro Machi. As a decoy replica of Nazarick is under construction, Cocytus is informed by his subordinates of Demiurge's scroll mission and the need to report regularly. Cocytus takes this news and readies his army for the coming war in a few days. Zenburu fights Zariusu, and they wager the role of chief and Crush for a mate. Zariusu realizes his physical strength is less than Zenburu, but uses his Frost Pain, a magic item, to freeze Zenburu with each attack, causing Zenburu to yield, realizing he cannot keep fighting an item which will kill him as he fights. The group parties to discuss the alliance, and Dragontusk joins in. Heading to the Razortail tribe, the first attack site of the Herald's message, Shasryu greets the trio and everyone gathers for a scout. Reports the odds are against them with forces 3:1. Cocytus views on a crystal monitor their gathering and orders the attack. The Lizardmen put up a moderate resistance, until the 5 chiefs use their magic caster abilities to quickly summon swamp elementals. Antoma informs Lord Ainz, who views the situation with the battle as unexpected. Cocytus messages Demiurge for insight, the latter informing him to think for himself as to how to ration and deploy troops against the Lizardmen, as it may be the undisclosed wish of Lord Ainz. Cocytus orders an Elder Lich caster commander into the fight, tearing down resistance with relative ease. Seeing their chance to enter the fight, Zariusu sacrifices his steed, the Hydra Snake Roraro, to get in close to the Lich to fight alongside Crush and Zenburu, who are later rendered incapacitated, leaving Zariusu to muster what strength he has left to trap himself and the Lich commander in a massive ice cage. After much pain and many attacks, Zariusu was victorious by surprise, attacking the Lich in a fog and driving his Frost Pain into the former's brain. With the Lizardmen victorious in the battle, Cocytus must answer to Ainz. The Lizardmen celebrate victory. Zarius and Crush are alone in a tent blushing when Zenburu barges in, wondering if they're having fun, much to their shock. Back in Nazarick, Ainz introduces 8th floor guardian victim to the others to prepare for unforeseen encounters. Demiurge was successful in making higher quality scrolls using sheep beastmen. Ainz promises to fulfill Sheltir's need for punishment later on. Lastly, as Cocytus was defeated, Ainz explains he gave Cocytus a weak army so he would learn to adapt and reapply resources as a leader. As all of Cocytus' forces were low-tier undead, there was no risk for Nazarick, but Cocytus must face punishment. He is to eradicate the Lizardmen. Cocytus instead asks the Lizardmen be spared into servitude of Nazarick. When Ainz asks why, Demiurge steps in, proposing it could benefit them to see how governing a new people people under Nazarick would work, as they may have to again in the future, and starting now would help prepare them. Ainz agrees, but demands Cocytus rule them by means without fear. Ainz only wanted to hear Cocytus' free opinion, demanding his guardians think over their orders so as to bring greater benefit to Nazarick. After departing, Demiurge states to the guardians that Ainz intended for all this, wishing they learn to be more interdependent in their goal for conquest, and Cocytus' mission was also a probe of the Lizardmen. In his bedroom, Mamanga is happy his guardians are learning to evolve, and also notices a familiar floral scent, albedos. The next day, the guardians and Ainz himself return to the battlefield in a grand show of force, freezing the lake. Gargantua, twice the height of the forest, throws a massive stone in the center of the lake, and the undead perform a royal procession for Ainz to sit atop the stone and speak before the Lizardmen. When the Shasha brothers act as representatives, Demiurge uses controller magic to have them bow properly before Ainz' decree. Cocytus will arrive in 4 hours' time to fight them on his own, and if they win they're forever free of Nazarick. The 5 tribe leaders discuss sending only themselves, with Crush to stay behind and lead. As she argues against this, the tribe leaders leave Zariusu to talk with her. They both accept that there will be death, and Crush demands Zariusu impregnate her to preserve their love. The Lizardmen champions, the Shasha brothers, Zenbaru, with Kyuku Zuzu and Suki Juju, Razortail and Small Fong chieftains respectively, prepare for battle with Cocytus. During this preparation, Ainz and his guardians enter a temporary base of operations while Victim guards the first floor as they are out. Upon seeing a makeshift throne for himself by his guardians, he opts to use Sheltir as a chair as her due punishment, when really he felt uneasy about sitting in a chair made of bones. This enrages Albedo but hyper-stimulates Sheltir's pleasure. The Lizardmen champions stand ready, and Cocytus arrives to do battle equipped in his floor guardian gear. Many Lizardmen die, leaving only the Shasha brothers. Cocytus asks for their names and grants them the honor of death by his god-slaying Emperor Blade. Repeating the fog and surprise attack maneuver, they are easily countered and Shashryu is killed. Later, Ainz congratulates Cocytus for his victory and summons Crush over for a deal. Report and monitor her people for any signs of rebellion, and Ainz will revive Zariusu. Crush agrees and Ainz resurrects Zariusu, suffering confusion and level loss from the Yggdrasil resurrection function among the villagers who now worship him a god. After pledging their fidelity, Zariusu asks for his brother and Zenbaru be returned as well, and Ainz takes it into consideration, having the Lizardmen keep their bodies safeguarded. Tired, Zariusu and Crush go to get rest. While still in the Riestai's capital, Sebas goes to the Magician's Guild to purchase a spell scroll, and on his way back to the mansion stumbles upon a brutalized young woman. After remembering the words of his creator, "Player touch me," he decides to take her to safety. The man who threw her away begs Sebas not to, as he will be killed by the Eight Fingers crime syndicate for allowing an asset to be taken. Sebas gives the man money to flee town as a response. Upon his return, Solution is taken aback by Sebas' care for the young girl and having Solution heal her of injury. Waking up, she is fed and breaks down crying for being shown the level of kindness Sebas has given, and revealing her name is Twer. Sebas orders Solution not inform Lord Ainz, stating it is not worth his time knowing about a meager human girl. Meanwhile, Gazef has breakfast with Brainonblaus, who is in a depressive state following his encounter with Sheltir, and Gazef tries to help him. Out in a secluded region, Adamantite adventurer Team Blue Rose destroys an illegal crop used in the production of a powerful narcotic called black dust. While scouting, Blue Rose member Evil Eye finds a parchment with code which can lead them to the leaders of Eight Fingers. At the same time, the heads of Eight Fingers discuss the crop burning and the girl's rescue by Sebas. At the table, Zero, head of Eight Fingers Security, promises Coco Doll, head of the slave department, that his men will return the girl to their possession. As Ainz reviews the new world finances, he finds it difficult to manage funds for the Lizardmen budget and the undercover Nazarick agents. Narbril, as Nabe, comes to Ainz in regards to the various samples he had bought to do an appraisal experiment on the exchange box to see which or from where yields the most gold. He gives Nabe all the money he has left, reminding her to be covert and pleasant to humans for their covers, and silently frets on financial woes. Elsewhere, Climb is given a sparring session by Gazef, who informs Climb of Ainzul Gown having saved his life, with a young bodyguard to remember. After the spar, Gazef notes to his vice chief that Climb's power cannot go past that of a gold-ranked adventurer, and his efforts will not change that, but he can still learn from experience. Across the way, Gazef sees Prince Zanuck talking with Marquis Raven, likely forming an alliance despite kingdom factions, as Raven is an opportunist. Meeting with Princess Renner, Climb is introduced to Blue Rose's leader Locus Alvian Dale Aindra along with one of Blue Rose's twin assassins, Tina. Under Renner's guidance, they learn the code they discovered at the Black Dust Crop is really a list of locations of importance to Eight Fingers in the capital city. One location not listed is an underground brothel in the capital, and Blue Roses brings Climb to investigate alongside them. However, remembering a nobleman's daughter serves as one of Renner's maids, they worry of their plans having been uncovered. Meanwhile, Sebas has Twer serve as the maid of the manor he and Solution are using as cover to better sell that identity, but are later found by Succulent, an Eight Fingers agent, and Constable Staffan Havish. The two ask for compensation for Sebas purchasing Twer despite the anti-slave laws, so as to be pardoned for his crime. Permitting Sebas 2 days to think over their proposal, the two take their leave. As Sebas goes on a walk to clear his mind, Solution messages messages Ainz to inform him Sebas may have been compromised. Climb heads to an inn where Gagarin and Evil Eye are having lunch and informs them that Locus wants them to be ready to mobilize. As the conversation goes on, Evil Eye informs the both of them of the new adamantite team Darkness, which is made up of the adventurers Mammon and Nabe with the wise king of the forest as a pet, leaving Gagarin astounded by their reported feats. Climb wishes to be capable of such strength, but the duo advise him to go his own pace and not to lose his humanity in pursuit of power. Meanwhile, Raynon Glaus runs errands for Gazef and goes past a crowd watching a group of drunk men assaulting a boy for simply bumping into them. Climb also goes by the crowd and moves to stop the matter. Both see Sebas move with skill and speed to resolve the matter in one punch. They separately follow the butler into an alleyway, where Climb enthusiastically asks Sebas for a quick lesson in strength after witnessing him recently. Sebas sees Climb as trustworthy and gives him a lesson: how to overcome fear of death. By flooding Climb's sense with killing intent, Climb dodges at the last possible instance by overcoming his fear by thinking of Renner. Brain, having witnessed this around the corner, is moved by Climb's ability to overcome intense fear and asks to also learn from Sebas. However, the trio are beset by 5 assassins sent by Succulent, of which Sebas downs 3, for the last 2 to be handled by Brain and Climb. With their attackers downed, Sebas uses a skill to easily interrogate one of them on where to find Succulent and the 8 Fingers. The trio move together out of a grown respect for each other and move to destroy 8 Fingers in the capital of Rieste. They head for Succulent's brothel, the same place Sebas rescued Twer from. Sebas, Brain and Climb arrive at the brothel and use 2 entryways: the front door to the main brothel and the side entrance to the underground storage area. Climb and Brain take the latter door, while Sebas charges the front. Sebas forewarns the duo that if needed, he will kill opposition inside if he is forced to, with the both of them understanding. They only ask that the 8 Fingers leaders Crocodile and Succulent be captured. Sebas easily removes the steel door and knocks away the guards, and comes across Constable Stoffen Habish mercilessly assaulting a slave girl for pleasure. Sebas slaps Stoffen into a bloody state, and after the constables pleas for mercy with money, Sebas concludes he is unworthy of life and kicks him in half. Brain and Climb stop their opposition and locate a trapdoor, courtesy of items by Gagarin, leading to the underground storage. While Brain scouts further and having Climb stand watch, Crocodile and Succulent arrive by a hidden passage in front of the young warrior. Succulent uses his illusion magic to gravely injure Climb until Brain returns and defeats him with his god-slash technique. The trio are successful in apprehending 2 of the 8 Fingers and return to their respective homes. Brain returns to Gazef's home and the two have dinner discussing Climb's progress in Sheltir by name. Sebas returns to the manor, only for Solution to be in her Pleiades attire, telling him Ainz is in the next room waiting to speak with him. Climb returns to Renner, who is pleased he is safe. After Climb retires for the night, Renner calls in the maid she knows is spying on her to tell her about how amazing Climb was, only for her to actually plan on killing the maid for disrespecting Climb within her earshot, revealing her obsessive love for him. Late at night, Zero gathers the remaining members of 6 Arms to kill Sebas, Climb, and Brain for opposing them. Ainz, actually Pandora's actor in disguise, investigates Sebas' possible betrayal, with Demiurge, Victim, and Cocytus as witnesses. He orders Sebas to kill Twer to confirm his loyalty. Sebas does so and, having his attack blocked by Cocytus, is proven to be a steadfast servant to Nazarick. After the real Ainz arrives, the Overlord hears Twer's full name and realizes she is the sister of Ninya, the spellcaster from the Swords of Darkness, thus he allows Sebas' request of having her as a provisional maid. In the royal palace, Renner and Blue Rose meet to discuss the raids on 8 Fingers, but Marquis Raven and Prince Zanuck arrive with a solution to the lack of manpower. After a mild topic of Renner's true persona and her feelings for Climb, she reveals she has damning intelligence on the royal and noble factions and coerces Raven to lend his private army to the simultaneous raids of 8 Fingers. He reluctantly agrees, and Zanuck reveals their eldest brother Barbro has a hidden storehouse in trade with 8 Fingers, which is now added to the map. Renner also reveals her ace against the Syndicate, aside from Blue Rose's aid, is Gazef Stranov. After a long day of acquiring materials for Demiurge to feed his livestock of Arbelian sheep, humans, Sebas and Solution return to the manor to find Twer missing and a note from 6 Arms challenging Sebas for her freedom. Solution reminds Sebas of Ainz's words, and they message their master of the situation. Ainz, preoccupied as Mom and elsewhere, relays to Albedo to send reinforcements. While initially hesitant to aid a human, she relents and sends the forces for Demiurge to command on-site to destroy 8 Fingers. Albedo, to herself, then thinks of the name Ainzul Gaun after the guild name to be ridiculous, preferring Mamanga, as evident by his original player banner draped on the wall and the guild flag on the floor. After Sebas departs to rescue Twer from 6 Arms, Demiurge lays out the plan for his Operation Gehenna to the Pleiades, Mare, and Sheltir. Meanwhile in the royal encampment, Climb and Brain team up with former adventurer Lockmire to raid one of the known 8 Fingers bases. There they encounter Sebas, who was summoned to the same base as the trio to fight the 6 Arms. When Sebas encounters 4 members of 6 Arms, he takes a few seconds to kill them and the surrounding customers. Solution reports that Zero is not amongst the patrons. Elsewhere at Hilma's residence, she wakes up to find her home encased in shrubbery. Encountering Mare, he breaks her leg to drag her away, leaving Antoma to empty the manor. While Antoma is snatched snacking on a human body part. Gagarin has a chance encounter with her and fights the bug mate thinking she is with 8 fingers. Blue Rose members Tia and Evil Eye arrive, and together they overpower and defeat Intoma. Before the finishing blow, the bug mate is rescued by Jaldabaoth and taken to safety. After Gagarin and Tia are killed by the demon's hellfire wall, an enraged Evil Eye charges at the demon but is halted by the arrival of Mammon. Evil Eye requests Mammon's help to defeat Jaldabaoth, to which he obliges. Mammon, Ainz, proves himself to be Jaldabaoth's demiurge's equal while defending Evil Eye at the same time, which results in Evil Eye developing romantic feelings for Mammon. Jaldabaoth eventually leaves the fight, claiming to search for an item within the city and that he will guard the region the item is in. While Evil Eye wants to follow him, Mammon decides not to, citing the reason as Jaldabaoth's restrained fighting. She accidentally angers Mammon and Nabe when she mentions how Gagarin, Tia and herself nearly killed Intoma. Meanwhile, Brain, Lime and Lockmire are escorting Twer out when they encounter Zero, who challenges Brain to a fight. Together, Lockmire and Climb manage to beat Succulent disguised as Twer, while Brain and Zero prove to be evenly matched. Sebas, after rescuing the real Twer, wanders in and discovers the fight. To the disbelief of Zero, Sebas states that the 6 arms were all killed. He abandons his fight with Brain and unleashes his strongest attack on Sebas, who takes it without flinching and kills Zero with a single dropkick. Sebas leaves with Twer, but promises to return the debt he owes to Climb and Brain for their assistance in her rescue. A circle of fire created by Jaldabaoth emerges within the city and is seen by everyone. Princess Renner arranges for the adventurers and the soldiers to enter the ring and kill the demons present inside, while Climb, Brain and Lockmire attempt to save the citizens. Mammon, Nabe and Evil Eye are to move into the center to fight Jaldabaoth. It is revealed that she intends to use the adventurers and soldiers as cannon fodder, while Mammon's group moves in to kill Jaldabaoth. The adventurer coalition moves in to rescue the captured civilians in the residential sector, while the royal guards hold back a wave of demons until Mammon, Nabe and Evil Eye arrive. Brain notices a disguised Sheltir and challenges her in order to give his comrades time to escape. Brain manages to cut Sheltir's fingernail with 4-fold slash of light and happily retreats while she is distracted. As he runs, Sheltir notices Climb and Lockmire, leaving them behind after remembering the order Demiurge gave her. As Mammon, Nabe and Evil Eye encounter Jaldabaoth, they see his 5 masked demon maids. While the female adventurers handle the maids, Mammon battles Jaldabaoth. Locus fights off wave after wave of demon hordes while support mages heal wounded adventurers until Gazef arrives with the king's personal army. Elsewhere, Demiurge and Ainz speak in private in an abandoned building to discuss Demiurge's full plan. Lastly, all blame is to be laid on Jaldabaoth in order to boost Mammon's fame. As Evil Eye fights, a hidden Narbaral calmly chats with 3 of her sisters. As Mare gives the earthquake signal, the maids return to their intended roles. Evil Eye regroups with Nabe, and Jaldabaoth is thrust into the scene by Mammon. Jaldabaoth calls for a retreat, and the disturbance comes to an end. The adventurers and soldiers gather and hail Mammon a hero of the kingdom. Elsewhere, Aura captures the remaining 8 Fingers leaders and makes them servants to Ainz Down. After some resistance, Hilma urges the Dark Elf twins to let her make them loyal out of fear of returning to Kyuhuku for torture. Aura allows it, affirming they now control half of the country. In the Baharuth Empire, Flutter Paradine informs Emperor Jerknivrun Farlord El Nix that, while investigating Ainz Down, he concludes the magic caster is greater than or equal to his level of magical power. While wishing to meet Ainz personally, Jerkniv orders Flutter to investigate adamantite adventurer Mammon as well. A central theme of Overlord Season 2 revolves around the moral compass of Ainz and the repercussions of his actions. As Ainz navigates political intrigues and engages in battles, viewers witness the ethical complexities of his choices. The anime raises questions about the nature of morality in a fantastical setting and explores the idea that good and evil might be subjective, challenging viewers to re-evaluate traditional notions of right and wrong. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel because it is very important for the development of the channel.